Hey, everyone. I'm Christina William. How this one ends, you'll never guess. You've always been my rock, Kay, my brother Nathan said, pulling me into a tight hug after sharing the big news of his engagement. We were sitting in our favorite coffee shop, the one that had been our refuge during the stormy days of our parents' divorce. The familiar scent of espresso filled the air, mingling with memories of late-night talks and unspoken promises. I can't wait to meet her. You've been so secretive about Victoria these past few months, I teased, taking a sip of my caramel latte. As a wedding planner at elite events, I'd seen countless love stories unfold, but nothing compared to witnessing my big brother this happy. She's amazing, Christina. A corporate lawyer, sharp as a tack, and she even gets my weird sense of humor. Nathan's eyes sparkled as he scrolled through photos of her on his phone. A week later, I met Victoria Chen at an upscale restaurant downtown. She greeted me with a warm smile, her designer outfit perfectly tailored and coordinated. "Nathan's told me so much about you," she said. "And he hasn't stopped talking about you," I replied, laughing. "I hear you're the rising star at LA events." "Oh, he exaggerates," I said, brushing it off. "But I do love what I do." Victoria leaned in, her polished demeanor softening. "Would you consider planning our wedding? I know it's a big ask." "Are you kidding?" "I'd be honored, and of course, I'll give you the family discount." From that moment, Victoria and I became a team. We spent hours poring over portfolios and brainstorming ideas. "These centerpieces are exactly what I imagined," she gushed during a planning session in my office. "You really have an eye for elegance." Even my mom, Diana, couldn't contain her excitement. "My two babies, all grown up," she said during a family dinner, dabbing at her tears. "Victoria, sweetie, you're exactly what this family needed. And Christina planning the wedding? It's perfect." "Mrs. William, you're too kind," Victoria replied graciously. "Christina's been incredible. I showed her work to my colleagues. They were blown away." Nathan laughed. "Remember when we used to plan weddings with your Barbies?" "Yeah," I said, rolling my eyes. "And you always insisted on being the officiant instead of the groom." The initial planning was a dream. Victoria and I clicked over color palettes and venue options. One day, while surrounded by fabric swatches and inspiration boards, she confided, "I never had a sister. This means so much to me." "Well, you've got one now," I said, genuinely touched. "But perfection has a way of cracking." "Christina, darling," Victoria snapped during our fourth venue walkthrough, her tone icy. "These centerpieces won't do. I specifically asked for pure white orchids, not this ivory nonsense. And the table numbers, gold?" I clearly said silver. I took a calming breath and pulled out my phone. "Actually, you requested gold 3 days ago. I have the email right here." "Oh, sweetie, you must be confused. All this wedding planning must be overwhelming for you. Perhaps we should hire additional help," she said, smirking while texting on her phone. Later that evening, Nathan called. "Kay, Victoria mentioned you seemed stressed. Maybe you should take a step back." "What?" "Nathan, I'm fine. She's the one changing everything every other day." "Come on, sis. She's just trying to make everything perfect. You can be a bit controlling sometimes." The next morning, my assistant rushed into my office. "Mrs. Henderson canceled her daughter's Sweet 16, she said, panic in her voice. "Victoria told her you inflate prices and use cheap substitutes for premium materials." "She what?" My hands shook as I called Mrs. Henderson. "I'm sorry, Christina, but Victoria showed me proof of the flower costs versus what you charged. I can't trust someone who deceives clients." Fuming, I found Victoria at her favorite cafe, typing away on her laptop. "We need to talk. Now." "About what, sweetie?" she replied, her saccharine smile making my stomach churn. "Stop sabotaging my business," I demanded, my voice steady despite the fury rising within me. "The accusations you made to Mrs. Henderson. Lies." "I simply shared my experience as your client," Victoria said smoothly, not looking up. "It's not my fault if others find that information valuable. You're trying to ruin everything I've built." "Don't be dramatic, Christina. Nathan always said you had a flair for exaggeration. Leave my brother out of this." "Your brother?" Victoria's voice dripped with mock sweetness. "Honey, he's my fiancé. Maybe you're the one who needs to step back." That afternoon, during the final venue walkthrough, Victoria's voice suddenly pierced the calm. "My ring. Where's my engagement ring? I just had it." Panic swept through the room as we all started looking around. Then she turned to me, her face contorted with fury. "You," she hissed, pointing an accusing finger. "You've been jealous since day one. First my wedding, then my clients, and now my ring. Are you insane? Why would I?" "Security, check her bag," Victoria screamed, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. Two security guards approached, exchanging uneasy glances. One cleared his throat. "Ma'am, we need to check your belongings." "This is ridiculous," I protested as they searched my purse. But when they opened a seldom-used side pocket, there it was, Victoria's $25,000 engagement ring. I knew it. Victoria's eyes gleamed with triumph. "Call the police." "I didn't put that there." My voice shook with disbelief. "Victoria, you're setting me up." Nathan arrived just as the police were snapping handcuffs around my wrists. "Christina, how could you?" he asked, his voice a mix of anger and disappointment. "Nathan, please, you know me. I would never." "Save it for the judge," Victoria interrupted, clinging to Nathan's arm. "I trusted you like a sister." As they led me out of the venue, I caught a glimpse of Victoria's reflection in the glass doors. For a brief moment, her devastated expression slipped, revealing a satisfied smirk that sent a chill down my spine. The next morning, I shuffled into my mom's house, still wearing the same clothes from the jail. "She's been released on bail," I overheard her telling someone on the phone. "No, I don't believe Christina would ever." She paused, noticing me. "I need to call you back." Victoria's sugary voice played from a news clip on my laptop. "She must have felt guilty and returned the ring while I was sleeping," she said, feigning heartbreak. "It's sad, really. I only wanted her to be part of our special day." My phone buzzed with another cancellation email, the 12th in 2 days. My lawyer's warning rang in my ears. "Your arrest record could affect your event planning license." Something wasn't adding up. The venue's security footage had mysteriously disappeared. As I scrolled through social media, reading comment after comment labeling me a jealous thief, a message popped up from an unknown number. "Saw your story. Same thing happened to me. Coffee." The next day, I met Rachel Martinez at a quiet diner. "I was a wedding planner in Boston 3 years ago," she began. "Victoria Chen was my client too. She accused me of stealing family heirlooms during a venue visit. They'd magically reappeared later, but my business was already ruined." "Wait, Boston." She told everyone she was from Los Angeles. Rachel smirked. "Girl, keep digging. You'll find Sarah in Chicago and Melissa in Seattle. All wedding planners, all accused of theft by Victoria Chen." Over the next week, I made call after call. "Yeah, Victoria Chen worked at Morgan and Reed here in Chicago," a paralegal whispered over the phone. "Left suddenly after client money went missing. The firm kept it quiet to avoid scandal." In Seattle, a former colleague confirmed a similar story. "She disappeared before the audit was complete. We heard she moved east." By the time I pieced everything together, my hands were shaking. I dialed Nathan's number, but it went straight to voicemail. "Nathan, please, there's something you need to know about Victoria. Just call me back." My mom brought coffee into my home office, where papers and notes covered every surface. "Honey, what's all this?" "Evidence," I said, motioning to the chaotic piles. "Victoria's done this before. Multiple times. And there's more." A sharp knock at the door interrupted me. A man in a suit stood on the porch, flashing a badge. "Miss William, I'm Agent Carter with the FBI. We've been investigating Miss Chen for wire fraud and embezzlement across state lines. We'd like to ask you some questions." Tears welled in my eyes. Finally, someone was listening. "And Miss William," Agent Carter added, "don't leave town. This is about to get very interesting." The next morning, my lawyer called. "Christina, the venue found the missing security footage. You need to see this." Breaking news lit up my living room as I sipped my coffee. High-profile lawyer Victoria Chen arrested on multiple fraud charges on her wedding day. Rachel texted me seconds later. "Did you see her face when they put her in the squad car? Priceless." The security footage showed Victoria slipping her ring into my bag during what appeared to be a friendly hug. Combined with testimonies from Rachel, Sarah, and Melissa, the case against her was ironclad. Nathan called me for the first time in weeks. His voice cracked. I found transfer documents. She was planning to clean out my accounts right after the wedding. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you." You were in love, I said softly. She fooled everyone. But you're my sister, Nathan said, his voice thick with regret. I should have known better. The class action lawsuit made headlines. Multiple wedding planners unite against serial fraudster. Victoria's former law firms came forward, each revealing missing client funds matching her employment dates. Your Honor, my client pleads not guilty, Victoria's lawyer announced in court. Save it, Victoria snapped, her designer wardrobe replaced by an orange jumpsuit. I'll take the deal. My phone wouldn't stop ringing with new client requests. Mrs. Anderson is hosting the governor's fundraiser, my assistant beamed. She specifically requested you after hearing your story. Outside my office, a reporter caught up with me. Christina William, how does it feel to be nominated for Event Planner of the Year? The award ceremony was packed. Nathan sat beside me, both of us healing, both of us stronger. The nominees have all demonstrated excellence in their field, the presenter began. But one nominee showed extraordinary resilience in the face of adversity. This year's Event Planner of the Year award goes to Christina William. As I walked to the podium, I caught a glimpse of the evening news playing on a lobby TV. Victoria Chen accepts plea deal minus 15 years for multiple fraud charges. This award isn't just mine, I said into the microphone. It belongs to every person who's been falsely accused, who lost everything but kept fighting for the truth. Sometimes the worst moments in our lives lead us to our greatest victories. Later that night, I found a note from Nathan on my desk. Thank you for never giving up, not just on clearing your name, but on me too. Love, your big brother. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Victoria Chen's cellmate reports she's already trying to run scams from prison. I couldn't help but laugh. Some people never change, but their power over us does. Ready for the governor's event? My assistant asked the next morning. More than ready, I said, smiling as I picked up my Event Planner of the Year award from my desk. Sometimes karma just needs a little help from the FBI. Have you ever ignored glaring red flags because you wanted to believe the best in someone, like Nathan did with Victoria? If you were in my shoes, would you have confronted her earlier or quietly gathered evidence as I did? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your own experiences with manipulative people who tried to destroy your reputation. How did you handle it?